Good afternoon, guys. It's Darren from Jace Media, and in the chair this afternoon, all the way from Nashville, is the mayor, Mr. John Corabi. John, good afternoon. How are you?
All right. I'm very good. Very excited about this new tune, and excited to talk to you.
So, how come it's well, it's maybe a stupid question. How come it's taking so long for you to get it out? And you've had it on your in your arsenal for a while. What was the cause of waiting for so long?
You know, I mean, to be honest with you, it's just been trying to figure out like this new method of doing things. Obviously, too, COVID really put a kink in the program.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'd actually started recording a lot of this stuff with Marty Fredrickson at his studio. And then, I was kind of doing it in between shows, as we were just talking about. I was out doing acoustic shows, and, so I would do like a weekend, and then come home, catch my breath, and then go into the studio with Marty. And, and then once COVID hit, nobody was in close contact with each other. So I kind of panicked a little bit, obviously, with a lot of artists. I realized that, I never really thought about it before, but, a huge majority of a lot of these musicians, their salary, their money, the way that they live comes from touring nowadays. So I, for lack of a better term, freaked out. I thought of it I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was kind of talking with my wife, and I said, man, I really wish over the course of my career that I would have taken a little more interest in not so much writing music, but how it gets put together, like recording wise. And it was funny. I no sooner said it, and maybe 20 minutes later, I was on Instagram or Facebook. I don't know if my phone was spying on me, but I got an ad. I got an ad for, Pro Tools classes.
Cool.
So I just made a few phone calls, and I spoke to this girl, that really, really sweet lady on the phone, and I told her who I was, and with everything that going on, blah, blah, blah. And, so I took some money and I bought some gear, nothing elaborate, but I bought enough gear where I would be able to start or just keep moving forward. And then I took the classes. Everything was done via Zoom. So I took some classes, and then I actually started sitting down and trying to record a lot of these ideas on my own. Casibella, for example, was one of the first songs that I did. I actually recorded a majority of it here at my house, in my bedroom, on a laptop. And, I took it as far as I could take it from a Pro Tools point of view. And then I sent it to the master, Marty. And I said, hey, dude, here's that song that we were working on before. Here's kind of what I'm hearing. And he was like, okay, I see what you're doing here. You know what I mean? And I've always kind of heard the song being a little bit Penny Lane-ish, or huge fan of the song Killer Queen by Queen. And I explained it to him, and we talked on the phone, and then he took it the rest of the way and made it sound like an actual polished single.
It has that groove, it has that little beat, that you understand what you're saying about the Penny Lane. It has that kind of smooth groove running through it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that a lot of the fans have said. It's a very happy sounding song, and
it is.
Even though the lyrics are kind of not happy, but it's a very happy song. And so it took me a while, and still to this day, like, I'm working on a song I'm going to have my son do some drums on. I would like to release it next. But it's funny, like, it takes me, it'll take me 2 weeks to do something that it takes Marty like an hour to do.
Yeah.
And that's only because we're in different locations. And even here now in America, like we're still, we're struggling with the politics of getting the vaccine, not getting the vaccine. Now there's this Delta variant. So I just had a bunch more shows drop out, cancel, so I'm just trying to figure out this whole new way of doing music digitally. That's why it took as long as it did.
I think it's hard though, John. I think nowadays, I know you've done a couple of Monster Rock streams and things like that. And I think a lot of people are thinking that's the way forward at the moment. Don't get me wrong. I was at a show last week, a band, the Mercury Riots from California, the Mercury Riots.
Oh, okay.
Boys used to be in Bullets and Octane. And they were the first band to tour in Britain since COVID. And they said, we just want to come and play. They played Edinburgh, they played Trillions, they played Sheffield, HRH. And they just said, we want to come and play, because it's important to get out there. And I guess it depends on your own personal thoughts as to what you think is safe and not. Everybody would love to see John Corabi on stage again, acoustically or electrically. But you know what? You've got to make sure you're safe.
Well, it's not just that. I'm not ashamed to say it. I was vaccinated very early on, you know what I mean? But I did it because, I did it for the obvious reasons. Like I don't want to get sick first off and foremost. Absolutely. I don't want to get anybody else sick. But at the end of the day, I did it for selfish reasons. I just want to get back to work. I just want to get back to normal, whatever normal is. But it's just weird, man. Like the whole system right now, like trying to figure out, and I've been answering this question a lot, like, am I going to do vinyl? Am I going to do records? Am I going to, eventually, yes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, and it's not even really, it's partly COVID, but it's just, for guys like you or me who actually do buy CDs or vinyl, if you look at the grand scheme of the music business, the entire scope of everything, the percentage of the amount of people that actually purchase, vinyl music, the old school way, the number's really, really low, but the percentage wise. And Marty was the one that actually talked to me in the beginning. He said, why are you doing a record, dude? Like nobody's buying them anymore. Everybody's got these, phones now. And, it's the streaming things, the Pandoras, the Spotifys, the iHeartRadio, all that stuff. And people are just doing a subscription and they have a gazillion tunes at their fingertips.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm just seeing now, even with Casabella, it's kicking ass on all the streaming sites.
Yeah.
But I still don't know yet whether or not it's translating into actual downloads.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think, I was talking to, I must say, before we carry on, I've spoken to 3 or 4 musicians from Nashville who have said to me that Nashville is slowly but surely picking up and it's doing, the shows taking place and whatever. And I was talking to a young lady and she said to me, and you'll see behind me over my left-hand shoulder, there's a lot of my CDs. And she said, what are those? And I said, they're CDs. I said, I play them in the car. And she said, wow, they haven't done CDs in America for about 10 years.
Well, it's funny. I have a car. I have a Nissan, little sports car, 370. And it doesn't even have a CD player in it. You just plug your phone into it.
Yeah, and away you go. Yeah.
And away you go.
I think that's the way forward though, John. But interestingly enough, when you're putting records out, people are saying, is it going to come in a 10-inch splatter disc? Are you going to put a 7-inch single out? Splatter? And I think for nostalgia reasons, I think a lot of people are now getting back into buying turntables because John Corabi's putting out Cosibella in a 12-inch gold and red splatter, and people are going, I want it, you know? Or, you know, like the Damn Truth are putting out a clear vinyl splatter, and you think, and I think for nostalgia reasons, people are buying it because it's something to say, when these go out of fashion, I'll have one, you know, by John Corabi or whoever. Yeah. And I think that's kind of where they're going with it. And I do understand when you're talking about you don't really know the full extent of is it downloadable, or, you know, because people are going, yeah, I'll just plug in my phone and I've got 9 million iTunes on my phone. There is a bit of goodness of walking around with your headphones in and stuff. But I like to feel the quality of a CD or an album. You know, I'm an old dude,
and I would like to do it, you know. But if you really think about it, even with the Dead Daisies, you know, a majority of the records sold, you know, and let's face it, I don't know about England, but I'm pretty sure like places like Tower Records and, you know, I don't know, is there still Virgin Records? But
no, I think the main one we've got now is HMV.
Right.
That's the main one.
Now, see, here in America, you know, Tower Records is gone. Sam Goody's is gone. Yeah. You know, all those places where we used to buy, you know, the chain record stores are gone. There's a few of these independent mom and pop stores. They're few and far between.
Yeah.
And the places that do actually sell records, I don't know how it is at HMV, but like Best Buy still sells records, Walmart, Kmart, but they only sell, their buying referendum is, we're going to buy the top 20 on Billboard.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Nothing
so
else.
Guys like me are just falling through the cracks and trying to figure out like how this all works. It's frustrating. I mean, I know Gene Simmons a few years ago said rock is dead. And I get what he meant. You know, it was a very broad statement. But at the end of the day, Kiss is still bringing in their 16,000, 20,000 people. Bands like, you know, Aerosmith, they're still bringing in sellout crowds. But in terms of selling the records that they used to sell,
yeah,
it's not the same. And they're sitting there going, what's the point? So, you know, this is what Marty was trying to explain to me. He was like, dude, nobody's buying any records anymore. And I know for the last 10 or so years, I did my acoustic record, I did the Live 94 album, all the records that I did with the Dead Daisies.
Yeah.
For example, the Daisies, we basically sold all of our records through the Dead Daisies website, through Amazon, and at our shows. That's where the lion's share of the songs come from. Now, here's the glitch. I don't really have very many gigs because of COVID. So buying any hard product at the shows is out of the question. And you know, so even if I was to say, okay, let's finish the actual full record and sell it, it's still going to take me, because of the backlog of vinyl and even CDs to a degree. The backlog, like if I put in an order right now for vinyl and CDs, I'm not going to get them for 8 or 9 months. So I'm just kind of at a, you know, I don't know how to do this. Now, the thing of it is, if the fans, like Gene Simmons mentioned something about, in the last interview I saw, he said, fans are, he goes, they're great, they're coming to the shows, but there's a sense of entitlement where it's like they can listen to it on Spotify and iHeartRadio, and it's just there. They can listen to it as many times as they want.
For free, yeah.
but they're not going over to Apple Tunes or Amazon or iTunes and actually downloading it.
Yeah.
So all these artists now, like myself, who rely on the downloads and rely on the shows, are kind of scrambling, going, how do we make this work?
How do you make it work? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So it's a bit of a head scratcher. You know what I mean?
I kind of think as well, though, John, I think now when you go to the shows, I mean, I always buy merch. I always buy a T-shirt, although it's only 20 quid, $25. I think, if people want to see John Corabi or the Daisies or whatever, for me, that's a lasting memento. You can stoat around. I do something every day. I go out on a 7-mile walk every day and I do a picture of a tour shirt. It's Monday and it's shit, but I'm going for a walk and I get millions of likes, for you bands and stuff like that, John Carabis and Heavy Pettins and all this. And people are like, that's fantastic. So I guess from that point of view, people buying your T-shirts is another way of you making some money.
Yes.
That I know it's not going to swell the bank to proportionate numbers, but I guess as you're waiting, to go out on the road, and I guess you're probably scratching yourself to get out on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to, but it's funny. Like I just had a run that I was supposed to do through Mexico that was pretty cool, and it got postponed, got moved to November. I had shows that I was supposed to do with a band called Molly Hatchet.
Yep.
That show got postponed again to, I don't even know what the date is, but that was the 5th time. That one's been postponed.
Incredible, isn't
now
it?
It's funny. I was just talking to somebody yesterday in Canada. I was doing interviews for the new song, and the guy said to me, he goes, why are you coming to Canada for one show? And I said, I don't know. I was just booked. He said, well, he goes, I don't know if you know this or not, but he said, Canada is federally mandated from coast to coast that if you come in from the United States, you have to quarantine for 10 days, regardless.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had no idea. So I called my agent yesterday and I'm like, do you know that? So, and now he's checking into it to make sure. And I said, listen, dude, we need a plan B. If that show is going to get moved, I need something else in its place. You know what I mean? Like I not to sound dire, but it's like, I can't sit here and do nothing. It's been 18 months. Like, let's whatever.
You're a musician. You're a musician, John,
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like I've got friends, man, that are, they're just in dire straits. They're like selling their homes. They're selling their cars. They're just doing whatever they can to survive and get through this until things pick back up again. But, again, this whole digital thing, I don't get it. Like, I'm just hoping that the fans take a second when they're hearing a song like Casabella, if they like it,
buy it. Yeah.
The streaming thing is great. It's at your fingertips. It's there. You can listen to it a million times. But if you really want to support live music, then buy the tickets when a band is playing in your area. I've done a few shows, not many. And it's weird. Even the promoters are going, this is crazy. Like, I sold X amount of tickets and like 25% of the people showed up.
Yeah.
Like, there's still, so there are some people that are supporting it that way. But again, I drive up hoping that, like you said, I'll sell maybe some extra shirts.
Yeah.
I'll sell some product. You know what I mean? And it's just a state of flux right now. It's weird.
I'm going to a show tonight with two buddies of yours, Pete and Gordon from Shock City. They've got their first show tonight, their first live show in Glasgow. I'm going along tonight to review that, so I will tell the boys that we were chatting. And
please tell them I said hello.
I certainly will. Now, on the other side of that, when I noticed that you liked my review of the single, when I review a track, we send it to yourself, we send it to your PR and all the rest of it. It's only been out a couple of days, and it's been viewed 750 times on my website with 40 shares, which means that obviously someone else has shared it to another platform. So right. I think the power of this, the chats. I mean, I love doing this. It's great because you get to talk to, guys you haven't spoken to in a long time. And I remember that night that we had so fondly. It was just such a laugh, just sitting. You just wanted to get pissed, and I'm like, John, it's 1:30 on a Sunday, and you're like, I don't care, man. I just want to go out. And I'm like, I've got work tomorrow. But that's the good part of the touring, where you have time with the fans and with press to chat about stuff and just be yourself. And I guess that's that my take on that is putting my take on your song, putting it out there for someone to go, wow, that sounds like a really good song. I want to go and listen to it. Now, as I say, 750 views, since the 31st of August. So it's not long, 10, 11 days. So it's doing really well. And we put the accompanying video on it. And the good thing about this is I have about 180,000 viewers every month on the website. This video will go to Australia. That will go all through America and New York and these places. Goes to Europe. So someone, will be wanting to listen to John Corabi, what he has to say, and about his track,
And I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
My
but
pleasure.
It's, I was talking to somebody a few days ago, and I really personally, and this is just me, I don't believe in doing, like, when I post something on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, get that little box in the corner that says, you can boost your post. And yeah. I really don't want to do that. I know to a degree it's going to open me up and maybe give me some fans that maybe I wouldn't have reached before. But to be honest with you, I don't want to do that. Like, I really want to go back to something that I grew up with was, the bands like, for example, David Bowie. David Bowie did all those records and really didn't have a hit single per se.
Yeah.
Until I think it was Fame with John, the song Fame.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a #1 hit single until he did China Girl. But the beautiful thing about those days, or even for another example, would be a band, the American band Grand Funk. Grand Funk had 0 radio airplay, very little. What happened with them is word of mouth.
Yeah.
Me playing you my song, you putting it on your website, those 750 people, they share it, they tell their friends about it, somebody plays it at a party, because then those fans are drawn to you for real reasons. Yeah. They really like the song. They really like my voice. They really admire my catalog or what it is that you know what I mean? So that's what I'm really trying to accomplish here. I may not do it. It's a new day and age, but I still think it can be done.
Anything's possible, John. Do you know what I mean? Anything's possible.
Yeah, and that's what I'm counting on. Like I said, man, I'm hoping that something clicks with the fans. I've been this guy that's kind of spent my whole career as not really a household name. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If you look at the grand scheme of the Nikki Sixxes or Steven Tyler's or Mick Jagger's, and then you go, oh, this new song by John Corabi, people go, what? Who? Wait, why does that name sound familiar?
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get over that hump for years. And, I'm still trying to write my Sergeant Peppers or whatever you want to call it. But I still believe it's possible. I believe in word of mouth. I believe if something clicks, if the stars align properly, it can happen. I also hope that the fans, again, realize that the streaming thing, it's as awesome as it is, they still have to go over to the other button.
Yeah, to buy it.
Yes.
But like though, John, when you did your acoustic tour, you know, the show was sold out. You know, so the thing is that you're still a huge name. You know, you have like you were saying, you have a presence. You have that charisma. You've got the voice, because people want to come and see you play.
But it's funny. It's because it's hit or miss. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I can go to Glasgow and have a sold out show, and then go to the next night to
Newcastle.
Newcastle, and it'll be like, you know what I mean? Like maybe half or 3/4 full, not sold out. You know, so that's what I say when I go, it's not quite a household name yet. You know what I mean? You know, and I don't know why. You know, I could sit here and pull my hair out and let it drive me crazy, but I can't. I won't.
John. I think it's one of those things that's like, you know, it's what music people prefer. You know, you're old school. You've got a really distinctive voice. You've got a certain way that you write a song and people love it. A lot of the youngsters nowadays are thinking, now you hark back to your Dead Daisies days when people go, yeah, the Dead Daisies, right? People think Dead Daisies, right? Oh, fucking fantastic, right? But, you know, sometimes you're only in a band for a very short time. People go, yeah, I remember them from then, but I don't know anything about Scream. You know, I don't know anything about Union, but I remember them from here. So I guess it's just, I think you're right, trying to pick the audience that I think, and I don't want to say that remember you, but I think you're always someone who's going to be remembered. You know, you're an instantly recognizable rock star, you know, with a really great pedigree. And I think you're right. I guess it's just what people like on the day.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and that's the thing that's different, you know, because I remember as a fan of bands like Grand Funk or Aerosmith, I would listen to a radio show and they would say, you know, Aerosmith's new record Rocks comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And man, I was like, cut school, and I was at the record store with money in hand. I remember hearing an interview on this show in America called Rockline when Queen put out A Day at the Races, and I heard Tie Your Mother Down. Incredible. And I was like, next day I was at the store, and I'm you know, and so it's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Now it's
I guess also as well, it's, you know, I can get it on Amazon. Click on my phone, and tomorrow the album's in my sweaty palm, you know, from Amazon or, you know, Prime.
Which is fine. I mean, you're still buying a hard copy. So the bands are still making their money from that. You know what I mean? The weird thing is the rates or whatever that, you know, the streaming services pay is not nearly close to what the other thing, you know what I mean? So this is the dilemma that we're in right now, like in 2021.
Yeah.
So
I kind of guess you're right, because the last two interviews that I did, 2019, 2020, was you when we sat in the hotel, and February when I spoke to Bruce Cooley.
Yeah.
Incredible. The last two, you know, who have joined together, and we were just having chats about stuff. And he was supposed to be coming to Britain, and he had to cancel his 5 shows. You know, and I think you're right. It's frustrating. You know, I love going to gigs. I love going out and meeting people, and, you know, and chatting to the singer or the band, and getting their insight on life on the road. You know, what it's like to be John Corabi, what it's like to be Bruce Kulick, what makes you tick. And I think those are the really good things that people miss when up close and personal with you, chatting about stuff, and your days at home with the wife and kids and stuff, and what it's like on the road when you go and get pissed and have a laugh. And I think that that's a really good thing, that that people can get to know John Corabi, the man, instead of the rock star or or the musician that's in a band. And I think these are really good. I guess it's just what John Corabi, the man, kind of how long he's going to be that person before something else comes along, like you were saying about the Delta variant and stuff. I would certainly hope you would get to Britain real soon, but I kind of guess, John, it's a situation where no one is really sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had some fans over the last year or so, well, especially now since they started doing the vaccine, they're like, when are you coming to Britain? The thing of it is, I would love to. I just don't know what, for example, like I was just saying how my tour of Mexico got postponed.
Yeah.
So I had 7 shows down there. I was going to go do,
Yep.
And of the 7 shows, 5 of the cities went on lockdown again. So it made no sense for me to come down and do 2 shows. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, move it. And it's weird. Like I could come to, the UK, and maybe Glasgow would be open and Newcastle, but London, not so much. And then this, you know what I mean? And then the other thing is too, like I was saying, I don't know. Like Nicholas was telling me that in Switzerland, it's mandatory. Don't care if you've been vaccinated or not, 10-day quarantine.
Yeah.
And, when you think about it, it's like, okay, well, 10 days, but it's staying in a hotel room, paying for a hotel room, paying for food, paying for alcohol, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, by the time you actually start the tour, you're in debt.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that I get it. The fans don't think of it that way, but
no, I think some fans just want you to come and play. But I guess, like you were saying right at the start of our interview, when you were saying that there's musicians who are salaried, and I don't want to use the phrase "you're lucky." No one's lucky. If you're a musician, the good thing was you could go out and play shows. Now you can't play shows, then you can't sell your merch. People will maybe not buy your merch online because they've not seen you. Maybe they want to come and see you and then they'll buy the merch. So it's a two-headed snake where you kind of think, I want people to come and see me and buy my stuff. And I think that's the hard part. People just go, John Corabi's coming, I'll pay 25 quid for a ticket. And then COVID hits, they go, fuck, John's not coming. I'm going to throw that ticket in the bin. Right now, to a certain extent, there might be some stars that say, no matter what happens, I still get paid. In this day and age, it's impossible. So you're sitting at home with the wife and she's probably thinking, I wish you would piss off out on tour and getting under my feet, and you're thinking, there's nothing.
Trust me, my wife thinks that on a daily basis. Trust me.
Yeah.
Even my dogs are looking at me a little funny, like, fuck, dude, don't you have something to do? So
I see your face every day, going to piss off on tour, So what's the next step? Obviously, reading you've recorded a few tracks. Are you planning on putting them out every couple of months?
I mean, ultimately, I would like to do, a song maybe every month and a half, 2 months, do a video for it, put it out there, and like I said, just wish for the best.
Yeah.
And try and get at some point, I would like to do vinyl, CDs, and sell them at shows. I just don't know when I'm playing again. You know what I mean? I could probably sell some on Amazon. But again, like it's a weird time, man. Like, I was just looking at my thing. like I said, the streaming thing has been unbelievable. But there's, you know, it breaks it down into streams.
Yeah.
I don't have numbers on actual sales yet, but then there's like radio. How many radio stations are playing the song?
Yeah.
And it's zero. You know what I mean? It's just so I'm just trying to figure it out. Don't know. You know,
are you anywhere near there yet, figuring it out? Are you just working through it? Or do you have an idea? Do you have a plan B, C, and D? Or are you just taking it by day?
I'm taking it day by day. And you know, right now, like this makes the most sense to me. Just do one song at a time, do a video, put it out there.
Yeah.
Keep talking about it. And, you know, and I'm asking all your listeners and readers, please share it. You know, tell your friends to
John,
check it out.
This is your 2 minutes of needless merch selling. So get your
download it.
Get your
download it.
Yeah, go for it. So hold on a second, John. Hold on a second, listeners. John Corabi has a very important message he wants to put across. So please listen. John, the floor is yours.
Please tell your friends about the songs. You know, it just in general, support music. If you want music, if you love music, then support it. It's great doing the streaming thing, but don't forget to hit the download button. Do you know what I mean? And support merch, not just merch, everything.
Come on, sell yourself, man. Merch, come on.
I'll let you do that. You're much better at it than I am.
John, it's not my show, it's your show. This is the John Corabi half hour. You need to sell yourself, man. I
feel like I need some blue paint on my face and I should be screaming freedom.
No, don't they get personal, John? I mean,
no. So, I love you guys.
Listen, we love you. Great seeing you back in 2019. I had such a blast. The acoustic show was fantastic. I had a great time spending that hour and a half with you, just talking about stuff, sending stuff to you on your email, which was quite funny because you were going to blast it all over the airwaves. I'm like, no, chill out, man. Don't tell everybody your email address. They'll be like bombarding you with shit, you know. And we had such a blast. But I just wanted, I'm conscious of your time. I know you've got a few more interviews.
I think we're, let me see. Let me check. I think we're okay. I've got like another, wait, wrong thing. I hate phones. Boom. 12. Okay, I got 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't want to take the time because you'll need to get some more coffee and then you'll need to get ready for the next set of questions, Sean. You know?
No, I've already had like 5 of these things. I could literally paint my house with a fucking eyelash.
Listen, John, it's been absolutely incredible to chat to you. I'll maybe finish the interview and we can chat some more if you like. Or if you want to piss off and do what you've got to do, I don't mind. You do what you want.
No, we're good. We're good. I've got, you know, it'll take me a minute or two to set the next one up, but we've got about 10 more minutes if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
I want to end it all. I want to end it all on a joke that Chris Glenn told me. So
another one, because you were telling me the last time. So yeah, and I will tell him I was talking to you today as well. He'll probably be there tonight at the show. But you can, you know, it's just, I think you're right. In these times, it's really hard. You know, I was made redundant year before last from COVID. Very quickly got another job. But you're right. Out there, it's just hard. You know, it's so hard for musicians. You know, you're right. We go, oh, John Corabi's coming, I'll buy a ticket. And then you go, oh, fuck, I'm taking my wife out to dinner. She'll crack up if I don't take her. So I'll wait to John next time, you know, and people don't turn up. And it's not fair. You know, you guys, travel expenses, you know, hotel expenses, food expenses, and someone doesn't show. I think that's just really, really rude, you know. And I think that you're right. Support the musicians, get you guys out there, you know, get back to Troon, come back to Troon.
I'd love to. You know, I'll tell you what, I have been, and Chris Glenn is actually, he's been the ambassador for, you know, Scotland every time that I've been there. And, you know, I can't remember where, I know it was Edinburgh. I went to
Bannerman's. You went to Bannerman's, yeah?
Yeah, but I was at a little pub there. I believe it's called the Black Rose.
Yep.
And went in. I had such a great time hanging out in there. And the guy came in, he goes, you know, you got to try the wit. So I ordered haggis. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll try the haggis. And he goes, oh, you got to have it with the scotch, you know, and I'm like, so, you know, he's poured it on the haggis, and I'm like, oh, this is killer. Like, I literally got blitzed eating my food. It was awesome. You know, just haggis, scotch, haggis, scotch, haggis, scotch. By the time I finished the meal, I was like, okay, wait, I'm trying to drive. It was great. I love coming there. The jokes are funny. You know, just everybody seems just pretty upbeat, jolly, you know, don't give a fuck. The house is on fire. Let me know when it gets to my chair. Yeah. Kind of a deal.
I think for Scottish people, though, John, is that Scottish people, yes, we are a really funny, jolly nation. We, you know, we love our live music. We love our rock stars. We love, you know, going out for a drink. You know, when you come back, there's 3 or 4 whiskey places that I will take you to when you come back. The Scottish Whisky Society, where you have a tasting session of all the whiskies and stuff. A place called the Pot Still in Glasgow, and that's got something like 100.
I lost you, buddy.
The Pot Still, it's got about 154 whiskies from all over the world, you know. And I'll take you up there as well when you next come back. We'll get Chris in. He can open his wallet. You never see that very often. And from what if he opens his wallet, bats may fly out of it. So I'm just saying. I think it's white £5 notes, John, I think comes out of his wallet. Not fucking bats, fucking white fivers. And it's about that size. He's like, oh, there's a $5 in my wallet.
Yeah, it's funny. The £5 note he has King Edward on it. Whatever. That's how far back he is and open that
Absolutely. Up. But if he's there tonight, I'll let him know I was chatting with you. I'll tell Gordon and Pete that we were chatting tonight. I will email Doug and let him know when this goes live. It will probably be what's this, Saturday, Monday.
Okay.
I'll let you know when it goes out, and it will be shared everywhere. You know, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you. I hope you come to Britain, Scotland soon.
I hope so too. Now let's end this on a joke.
Let's go.
This is a Chris Glenn joke. He says, so John, how do you know what clan a Scotsman is from? And I said, isn't it from the kilts? Or he goes, no, you reach under the kilt, and if he's got a quarter pounder, he's from the McDonald clan.
Guys, this is Darren from Jace Media, and having an absolute blast with the mayor, Mr. John Corabi. Saying, John, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, buddy.
Listen, my absolute pleasure, mate. Take care. Be safe.
Oh, you too.
Be safe.
That was my phone.
And let's get you to Glasgow real soon.
I hope so.
Thanks, bud. Take care.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.